Hey, good morning and welcome to episode 2 of week number 4 here at Morning Momentum. Today we are going to be talking about the subject of insight. I can't wait for you to join us. Grab some coffee, let's get started. In the book of Exodus, we are introduced to an individual that would play a very specific and defined role within the confines of what God was doing with the nation of Israel. His name was Bezalel, and he was the master craftsman that was placed over the building of the furnishings of Moses' temple. Listen to what the Lord speaks to Moses in Exodus chapter 31 concerning this man by the name of Bezalel. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I have specifically chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, grandson of Ur, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, giving him great wisdom, ability, and expertise in all kinds of crafts. He is a master craftsman, expert in working with gold, silver, and bronze." The Lord speaks to Moses concerning the very important vision of the building of this tabernacle and says, "I've already been preparing the man that is going to be given the oversight of the crafting of the furnishings." He had filled him with the Spirit of God, given him great wisdom, ability, expertise in this certain craft. And then the final verse says he is a master craftsman. It was a present ability that he had already been honing and refining that would lead him to the next great challenge of his life. As we've been discussing here in Morning Momentum, life is filled with challenges. Some spend their life pursuing every challenge that comes along. These individuals become what we probably would label in today's world the jack of all trades, the master of none. They end up doing a lot, but they don't accomplish a lot. One way that we allow wisdom to guide is in choosing our challenges. I like to call it the Bezalel principle. The principle is simply that I will choose to accept the challenge because it's an area of insight that I already possess. Bezalel's life had already been preparing him for this challenge. This is what he was good at. Now, I can guarantee you that had Darren been around in the times of the building of Moses' tabernacle, God would not have spoken to Moses to appoint Darren to build the furnishings. I am somewhat shorthanded. I remember in between my freshman and sophomore year of Bible college, I went home to spend the summer with my parents and work on a construction crew with my dad and my middle brother. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I'm not even sure what my boss was thinking, but he placed me, we were building houses, he placed me on the siding crew. Now, if you are not aware, I am not going to be a master craftsman. You are not going to call me to be your handyman. Get it? By the time the summer was over, I got demoted or promoted, I'm not sure which one it was, to become the forklift driver. I guess my boss decided that this might be a bit easier than trying to drive a nail into a 2x4 with only one hand. I remember kind of toward the end of the summer, my dad pulling me aside one day into a house that we had been working on, and I was a bit frustrated having been called off the roofing crew. Yes, my boss put me on the roofing crew. I guess he was trying to find a way to keep me employed. My dad told me this. He said, "Darren, you and I both know this is not what you are called to do. This is just a means to an end, a way to make a little money before you go back to your second year of Bible college. God has something better for you than building houses." What I'm trying to say is simply this. If Moses had approached me, I'm certain that I would have respectively let him know, you know what, you got the wrong guy. I will never forget when I was in junior high and decided to try out for the basketball team. Now, I grew up in a very small community, farm community in Kimberly, Idaho, and our coach didn't have a lot of options when it came to local basketball talent, so I made the team. And although I do remember watching a lot of games from the bench, I remember being allowed to finally go on the court when we were way ahead, and the opposing team, if they were smart or if they were coached by a halfway intelligent coach, usually could figure out which way I was going to dribble. Now, I could shoot the lights out from most of the court, but dribbling was not my forte. I remember hearing an opposing team's coach tell the team, hey, see the one-armed kid? He's going right every time. Again, not something I was called to do. And I had to recognize that it was not in my wheelhouse to be an NBA star. I have heard it said often in leadership circles, work on your strengths and delegate your weaknesses. In other words, focus on what God has called you to do and do it with all of your might. I'm challenging you in this second episode of Morning Momentum to refuse to be lured into the place of mediocrity by accepting challenges that you don't have some level of insight or expertise in. You have something God has equipped you to do. And here's the deal. Not only will you lessen your level of frustration, but I believe you will amplify your impact. Get insight. Have an awesome day. Remember to comment, share, like, let other people know about Morning Momentum. We'll see you tomorrow.